All right. So with that said, we have a pretty major topic here today, guys. Chris Ballas and others who kind of reflected some of the points has reported that in the next couple of days, possibly there will be a notice of allegations from the NCAA for Michigan for the Connor Stallions' involvement in an arrangement for off-campus in-person scouting, which is reported to potentially be a level 1 violation. And then they're also deciding that might not be impactful enough. So let's throw some other shit in there too. So they're also throwing in some restaurant purchases, maybe some other recruiting things for like level 2 violations, because that one level 1 just isn't enough of a dig at Michigan. So let's continue to do that. I do want to ask everybody, and then I'll let TJ and Ferris go. I do want to remind everybody of this. A notice of allegations does not equal punishment. All that's going to be coming out reportedly in the next few days is the allegations themselves. And then that's going to launch years of speculation about what the punishment will be, because most likely this thing it may be headed to court if it's anything above a fine. So this isn't going to be resolved for a long time, but it does look like there's movement soon. TJ, what's your take on what we've heard this week?
Yeah, so absolutely correct what you just said. We are looking at something that is going to be a years-long process. I mean, I've read that there's a belief that it won't even be truly in motion until mid-2025. And what I mean by in motion, I mean the court stuff might just begin if it goes that path. So yeah, and also I want to also bring clarity that there are separate, incidents. So the restaurant buying a recruit and his father a meal is a separate, which are the level 2 violations. Those are separate from the the whole Connor Stallions situation. So those are two different deals. And then with what is being rumored or proposed by Chris Ballas, he speculated possibly a 1 to 2 year postseason ban. Now that was speculated. That doesn't mean that's going to happen. That's something that is that could potentially be. But here's what we do know. Anything beyond a fine. So if there is a postseason ban, Michigan is not going to accept that. Period. That's the word out of Ann Arbor. It's not happening. They're not accepting it, and they will go to battle for it. And also it is believed widely in Michigan circles that it's not coming to that. That's the belief out of Ann Arbor. Now there is obviously the what is being proposed by Chris Ballas as a potential possibility. He's not saying that that's even going to be even. Chris Ballas was not even saying that that was going to be the case, that a postseason ban was going to happen. He was speculating it's a possibility. So let's get that clear. And then the second thing I want to hit on before I pass it to Ferris, to the Ohio State fans, and not to some of our very reasonable, rational Buckeyes in the chat who we actually appreciate. Shout out to you guys. And to be honest, some of you guys, I have very good conversations with you on the socials. And so, it's all love here. But to the rest of you guys are these rivals want the NCAA to save their ass right now because they can't do it on the field. And a lot of them are falling for the Santa Claus fairy tale bullshit. And I think it's just a bad look. It's a bad look because not only is the national perspective seeing you guys drooling, trying to hope the NCAA takes a bite out of our ass, which they're not. You guys just look sad because you guys can't accomplish what you want the NCAA to do on the field. So it's up to you guys to step up and handle your business on the field. Quit waiting for the NCAA to freaking handle your business because at the end of the day, Michigan's going to play this year. Michigan's going to play in bowl games. And very key, we're not vacating any wins. So enjoy that natty. You know what I'm saying? Like that natty's ours. Those Big Ten championships are ours. Enjoy that shit. Ferris, it's up to you. Go get it.
Yeah. I had a ton of notes, but you covered a lot of it. But I'm going to jump into a couple things. One is it's amazing to me. It's been over 1,700 days since Ohio State beat Michigan at the game of college football. I think it's 1,704, if I recall correctly. It is amazing to me that there is always an excuse. We were one play away. We were 5 plays away. If it wasn't for those 5 plays, we would have beaten Michigan when Michigan won 45-23. There is Honda McCord instead of Honda Accord. Honda McCord is the reason why Ohio State lost, but that was only 45% of the reason. 65% or 55% of the reason was Connor Stallions. So I didn't think this was going to happen after 1,700 plus days. I mean, I'm not naive to think that the OSU coaches are the same as OSU fans, but I hope they are. Maybe I'm naive, but I hope they are, and I hope they do overlook Michigan this year because I think that would just be amazing. That despite being beaten in, give me the scores. It was 42-27. Is that correct? And then it was 45-23, right? And then it was a closer game this last game, but it was Michigan had a 7-minute drive to basically end the game. Yes, Ohio State Honda McCord actually had a great pass to get them within striking distance, but it was still that required 2 amazing passes in a row to even get into the end zone. I just find it amazing that Ohio State fans and I hope the team are overlooking Michigan again. I hope it happens. I hope they blame Honda McCord, and I hope they blame Connor Stallions for it because Ryan, walking excuse day. I hope that's what he's saying to his team. I'm not expecting it, but that's what I'm hoping for. The second point I have is going to battle. So I know a lot of people are going to say that in the fall, Michigan talked a big game. They said they were going to go to battle. They said they were going to fight everything. They had lawyers. Everything was going to happen, and Harbaugh was going to be in there, and he's going to be coaching the games. And then they backed away. Well, this is my own speculation, but I do believe that Harbaugh, in his own heart of hearts, felt like, I want to battle this to the end. I am innocent. I want to battle this. I believe he got overruled by Michigan's administration. I think that's actually what happened. And the reason why they decided on this is because the Big Ten said, okay, we'll back off, just suspend Harbaugh for 3 games. We'll back off. All the games will count this year. You can keep playing games this year. We're not going to do anything with the Big Ten title game. Let's just give him these 3 games, and then we'll stop bugging you. So it's sort of like, once in a rare while, I'll get a traffic ticket, let's say, right? So, and the traffic ticket is something, but they make you agree to something else that's a lesser charge. You don't get points, and it's kind of like a win-win. Now, I could fight it. Maybe I think I'm right. Maybe I did, I thought I made a right turn on red, and they said I didn't the right way, whatever. But, or do I just pay the $100 and just move on? I think that was the Michigan administration's attitude. Jim Harbaugh wanted to get 10 lawyers and fight that, $100 traffic ticket to avoid the points, whatever, and get everything taken off his record.
Hey,
right?
He does like Judge Judy. So that's very possible that he would take $100 ticket to go.
Okay. All right. So anyway, I just want to kind of point that out for, kind of preemptively, because people are going to say Michigan's not going to fight. I think in this case, they will fight it, because it isn't a situation where they're 9-0 and they have a chance to go 12-0. And, they're right in the middle, it's literally in the middle of the off week, the weeks in between the games that they're doing this battle. This is going to last weeks and months and years, perhaps. So I believe that Michigan now will fight this. It's a different situation.
Go
ahead.
They'll fight it if it's an excessive punishment. But we don't. So that's the thing, right? So when this notice of allegations comes out, we don't. So as it stands now, we have no idea what's going to be in this notice of allegations. And then whatever the NCAA provides to Michigan, Michigan has 90 days to counter. That's what's going to, so even when like this comes out and these Ohio State fans, let's say there is a postseason ban, which I don't think there will be. Ohio State fans are going to think they just won the Super Bowl. But little do they know, because their IQ's like, well, actually, I got to check myself. I actually like a couple
there's some nice Ohio fans.
I know. There's a couple of you are making me have a little
But I'm just stating, I'm just basically stating the fact that, and I should have articulated it this way. Yes, if the hammer is bigger than the hammer emoji, which, if it's just this small, okay, we'll take it. Fine. Let's move on. If it is actually a postseason ban, something to that effect, I believe that Michigan will fight it.
No, they will. There's no belief about it. They will.
Okay.
If it's a postseason ban, it's not happening. They're not letting that.
All right. So I did have one third point, and that third point has to do with the definition of the term advanced scout. Okay. So I believe that the NCAA used that term, associated it with the 1994 rule. There was a rule from 1994 that you couldn't, video games for in-person for advanced scouting, but they never defined what an advanced scout is. So if a rando college student at another campus gets $100 from Connor Stallions and is paid to record a game, and maybe he's given the tickets free or something, is that an advanced scout? Okay, maybe you can argue that person is an advanced scout, but then are three teams colluding against a fourth team, allegedly Ohio State and two other teams colluding against Michigan, and they're sharing signs, they're sharing even their own expertise, tendencies, things like that. They have a group chat, they have a group email. Are they advanced scouting for each other? I would argue as a lawyer, I would say maybe they are, right? So
so what people who may not really, because a lot of people don't follow this day to day, and what people don't really understand, when you look at it in a vacuum, what Michigan did with the signal thing, it sounds like a lot, right? But when you look at it from the whole picture, every single major college football franchise has a sign guy. Every single one has somebody whose job it is to decode the signals, and then they have all of the plays that have already been put on the field in the All-22 film, is what it's called, the All-22 film, which gives the full look at the field and everything. Teams have each other's plays blocked out. It's not like Michigan knew everybody's plays and then everybody else was like, oh my God, what's Michigan running? No. Like 95% of the plays that get called, there's a signal guy to decode the signal. And so it's not like when you look at it in a vacuum, it's like Michigan's doing all this shit. But in reality, there's some degree of signal decoding going on at most major programs. I think that's a point I wanted to make.
But see, here's the thing though. We are past that. That discussion was December. Where we are now is they don't have shit. They don't have anything on Central Michigan. And I have a little info on Central Michigan that I'm not going to say until after notice of allegation or until this thing gets a little more settled, and I'll bring it to the public on what I know. And but they don't have shit on that. They don't have Connor Stallions isn't talking. Nobody involved has said a damn thing. The NCAA has nothing, which is why there's a lot of people in the Ann Arbor circles who feel like there's not going to be much to this notice of allegations. And if there is an overstep by the NCAA in Michigan's eyes, they'll fight that. That's just the reality of it. So the expectation out of Michigan is a fine and potentially some recruiting limitations. And what I mean by that is potentially maybe losing a visiting weekend or some scholarships. But I'm sure we all saw the NCAA is going to expand the scholarship limit to 105, which is interesting. We should talk about it on another show. But so like that's where we are with it. And everyone and when I mean everyone, I mean a lot of the rival fan base is hoping and wishing for something serious. Hey man, I know you like Santa Claus, but I hate to break it to you, he's not real.
But we do believe in Santa Ono. who is currently, I think, in the power rankings
True.
above Claus in the
True.
power
true.
rankings. But
True.
real quick, 2 super chats I want to hit on, and we can keep rolling on this topic. But Drufus with a go blue right back at you, Drufus. We appreciate you. And Blue Wolverine, man, this guy he goes hard in the paint. He doesn't just go on the Michigan shows, folks. He goes on the Buckeye shows. He is supporting everybody, and he gets that enemy intel, on a regular basis, and he's supporting our show, not just being a YouTube member, but also a $4.99 super chat saying, "What a year!" Yeah, you could say that again, Blue.
Yeah, and to Juju's son, I was just kidding. Santa's very real. He'll be at your house in December.
Oh.
Make sure you have some cookies for him and all that good stuff.